viewers, welcome to your program Development Zone, where we celebrate achievers, unveil the core potential of our dear nation, and also celebrate those who have contributed immensely to the growth of our country. Today on the program, we'll be chatting with a known face, a seasoned politician. What am I talking about? I'm talking in person of Dr. Abiso Kabir. You'll be hearing his view about the ongoing security challenge we are facing as a nation, and also why we all need to put hands together to believe on the admission of President Bola Tinubu. Sit back, relax, I'll be right back.
The issue of insecurity here in this country, in fact, is an alarming, right? Because initially we are focusing on Boko Haram in the northeast. Now, other part of the country too, they have one way of like bandits, kidnappings. In the southeast, there's the issue of this IPOP and other issues. In the southwest, there are also issues of cattle, with bandits and other kidnappings and other issues. Recently, we are all witnessing all these cases of kidnappings and killing some traditional rulers and all these kind of things. It's unfortunate. But well, as I want to reiterate, this effort is the President Bola Tinubu. He's trying to do his best to make sure that the issue of insecurity is going to be an over issue. Why? Because there is need for us to address some factors which critically we need to analyze. Is one, what this issue of unemployment, high rates of this kind of price and price, and also the issue of poverty. Now, this poverty, when you look at poverty, it's a vicious cycle which has affected everyone, especially in the northern side and everywhere. This is because when a farmer cannot be able to go to his farm and farm, look at it now, the food insecurity is there. The issue of insecurity has affected a lot of things in the whole sector of our economies. My contribution here, or my suggestion here to the government, is that we need to involve the traditional rulers. We need to involve the local government authorities. This is because now lack of local government autonomy has structurally affected this issue. Because if we are having an autonomy in local government, a chairman can be able to organize his vigilantes and others, and he can be able to fund all the vigilantes and other traditional rulers and other societies within his local government to checkmate if there's anything happening within the local government. These are very important. Now the involvement of the local government chairman is no longer there. The involvement of traditional rulers are no longer there. And these are the grassroots mobilizers. These are the grassroots anywhere, in every sector, where we have ward head, we have district head, we have village head. A village head will know that, look, something is happening within his side. He can ultimately report the issue. But now everybody was reluctant. Everybody doesn't care about the issue of security no longer because they are not involved. There's no any kind of motivation from the government to the traditional rulers. I'm telling you, if there's any checkmate, if there's a checkmate within the system, from the grassroots, from the ward level, village level, district level, and to the emirate level, believe me, or any other caliphate, believe me, this issue of insecurity will be a thing of past. Now, the issue of military, the involvement of military is a paramount because the military, I could remember last administration, they have bought enough military gadget that can be able to fight this equivalent. But the problem is, the militaries are not being given more support, especially within the community. The community can be able to give them information about this is the route where the bandit or the insurgency, they will be able to identify them so that they can be able to attack in a proper way. They can be able to involve other sectors too, especially the other paramilitaries like DSS and other police. Now that we have already, now the governors have been given mandate to create a state police. This state police too can be able to determine and can be able to checkmate within the system. So I believe state police is a welcome idea if there's not going to be a clash of interest within the system. From the federal, like assuming now we have state commission of police and we have another federal state commission of police. These are the roles which they need to identify, to have to clarify, so that we cannot have clash of interest. These are very vital things. So the issue of involvement of vigilantes. The vigilantes, some states have already involved the vigilantes and they're effectively doing it. But what are the payrolls? What are the commitments? What are the other vehicles that they use for other logistics? They need to improve. And also, community support program need to have mobilization to mobilize the community. That look, if we hear any dubious or any act within some households or communities, they can be able to report instantly so that they can rescue this. And finally, I want to suggest that look, all these kind of insecurities are why? Because of the factors of poverty and unemployment. A graduate will graduate and he cannot have any work to do. At the end, an idle man is a devil workshop. The service chiefs should also be able to go down to local level, liaise with the chairman, liaise with the traditional rulers, and liaise with the other the state governors, so that let them get the right thing, right information, and the exact location for them to hit the target. This is very vital. I had some issues some few weeks ago about this kidnapping, bandage, and all these things within the Abuja parent. But I believe now, with the effort of the now minister, Wiki, he has tried his best now to see that things have been normalized. So I believe now, when you look at the issue of insecurity now, I believe the present minister is doing his best to curtail this issue. I think let us give him more time and more support for him to assist, to see how he can tackle this issue. One thing I want to reiterate here is we have the gadget, but what I don't know now whether the military has this kind of surveillance drones, the new initiated, the new surveillance that can be able to scan what is happening within an aircraft. The issue of drones, which I believe now the government maybe have some new drones that can be able to view and then give an instant report. These are one. There are other issues of new military technology. What I would suggest is there's need for the government to buy a new scan checkpoint gadget that can be able to scan every vehicle that is coming and going within the state and at our border. Because with this, I believe with this kind of scan gadget, any trucks that's coming up, the vehicles, the militaries, all the police that are at checkpoint, they can't identify, they can't scan anything. They'll just see a job. They don't know what they have put in on the inside. So if we can be able to get a scan gadget within the checkpoint, within the cities, within the state, believe me, we can be able to detect a lot of things, especially arms, drugs, and other things. This will curtail the issue of insecurity, because you can be able to identify the supply of arms, can be able to identify the drugs and other illegal products that is coming to Nigeria or going within the state. Believe me, if we can be able to get this gadget, I believe the issue of insecurity will be a thing of past. I suggest the Minister of what they call it, the Minister of Defense, and then the federal government should be able to take this thing very clearly. The bank has made a policy that now, for us to stabilize the dollar, we need to have an exchange, balance of trade. We need to use our naira as a purchasing power. Any foreign company that need to bring dollar should use naira instead of dollar. Especially our oil, all our revenue in oil, if we can be able to get it in naira, that one will be. Look, this is why we need to do one thing, is for us to either join the BRIC or do a policy can be able to tackle this issue. Because in selling our crude oil, we need to get our naira. So that if they want to buy it in naira, now the demand of our naira will be higher. Then here we're going to reduce the issue of dollar. And then other exports and other trade. With this, we can be able to, and mind you, this issue of naira, because if you remember, Soludo, the former CBN has said that the former administration has printed not less than 23 trillion naira in the system. I don't know how this statement, whether it's true, but I know the circulation of naira in the system is too much. So for us to reduce this kind of thing is for us to see how the demand of naira, both nationally and within, so that we can be able to use it to avoid using much dollar. If we can be able to reduce the dependency of dollar, believe me, the naira will appreciate. But there are things which we need to fix. Is one, our industries. Our industries are not there to manufacture goods. Look at it. From Chad, people are coming. From Niger, from Benin, people are rushing to come to Nigeria because our value has dropped. Their own, as a player, they will come and buy goods and transport it there. They get enough profit. So if we have a manufacturers that they have supported the manufacturers, the way if they are producing more, they can be able to say, okay, the volume of sales will be higher. Then there is taxes which we need to impose and other things. So what I believe is, let us encourage our industries so that they manufacture more goods, not importing, but let us have export our manufactured goods so that we add value to our system, and then the naira will appreciate. We can no longer import anything. When you look at the dollar, if you want to import anything, you have to think twice. Let me give you one example. Last year, we imported sesame from Chad. At that time, per ton is just 650,000 naira to 700. Now, because the value of our naira has depreciated, now a ton of sesame is more than 1.2, 1.3 million per ton. Why? Because the value of the naira has depreciated. So now if you bring it here, and when you process it, and you want to export it, you cannot get anything. So that's why we need to farm within our system, to encourage farming, to boost, we process, and we export. Two, if you are buying anything like equipment from China, from other countries, for you to come and do it, it's going to affect your system. So I believe it has affected our businesses drastically. It affects us. So what I suggest is we need to improve within our system here to expand our agriculture, expand our manufacturing system, production level, and then we are good to go. To be patient. This suffering here, we are here in this country, is not Nigeria alone. It's a global issue. Now we are facing a recession. If you look at the war between Israel and Palestine, we are looking at the Russia and Ukraine and other Arab countries within Syria, Lebanon, and others. Believe me, all the sea, Red Sea, the Black Sea, and other sea has been affected now. There's no movement of goods and services. This affects all the global price now. When you look at Europe, they are complaining about the gas and everything. So this issue is globally. We are facing a recession. I want Nigeria to appreciate this government, to exercise patience, and I also want the government to equally to see that with this our process of our subsidy, let them focus on elevating the suffering of the masses here, especially the civil servant and ordinary persons. Create a transport system. Encourage farming. Do a subsidies of agri like fertilizer and other implements, so that let the farmer have this access. In any country, there must be a subsidy of one thing or another, so that But now when you remove subsidy, fuel subsidy, when you remove electricity subsidy, when you remove I mean, it doesn't sound wise. The money that we generate, we need to invest it in a wise, especially I'm challenging that when you look at the parameters that the Accountant General nowadays, so that they have paid the governors more money, but the governors are not doing well. This is not fair. We need to checkmate. We need to see that every governor that has been given this kind of things need to judicially use this thing, so that we have to have a check-in system. That, okay, we have given you this money, what have you done? Did you improve this transport system? Did you pay salaries? Did you pay this? These are things that we need to ask our governors, not the societies. Society need to ask their leaders, what have you done for us? These are things which we need to do. So there must be an enlightenment and sensitization programs to challenge anybody who has been given a resources and will not be able to justify and cannot be able to do something to this community or to the state. I think we need to check this thing. So this is my advice. Nigerians should exercise patience and let's give hope to this administration. We have just started. It's not up to 1 year. And this one, as I've said, is a global issue. So let us see by end of, this year, I believe the president will do a lot of things, will improve the transport system, will increase the salaries, wages, and also will see how the farmers can be able to go to their farms and farms.
Welcome back. Like you heard from our guest, the person of Dr. Abiso Kabir. He has took our time to outline the things that need to be done to make this country more safer for you and I, and also for us to be security conscious in every quota we find ourselves. He also uses this opportunity to plead with all Nigerians out there that we should be patient and hope on the President's Bola Tinubu government, because yes, in the short while we are going to enjoy the dividends of democracy. Till I come away again, I remain the host, Joseph Bola. Bye for now.